Yeah, how's it going today? 17th of March, Sunday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities are available out there. As of now, let's do it for fun, right? I haven't taken a look at it, but I know that UK, not the UK's, America's reserves when it comes to its storage of petrol and all the sources, right? Fuel sources was very low. That was let's take a look at time frame. I haven't taken a look at it, by the way. I don't know what kind of information I would be able to find out, just for fun, right? So it was very low, and the US should have at least 6 months of reserves, right? And they have completed at one point almost entire reserve, right? That's US. I'm interested in understanding how much and when it was at the lowest part, right? As well as where they purchased those reserves from and perhaps how cheaply. Compare against other things happening in the world, meaning war, right? And some of the economies up there perhaps selling a lot of its reserves into the market, right? Very cheaply. It's business, right? Let's try to understand that. For I don't know all the details and I don't know what kind of the information I would be able to find. It just depends as well what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna put these facts and I'm gonna be trying to find what is available on the internet. I don't know if this information is gonna be accurate, right? Let's see what we can find. Let's begin by some of the definitions, right? So that is strategic petroleum reserves. It's emergency stockpile of petroleum maintained in the United States Department of Energy. So at least we know which department, and I believe it's about 6 months of reserves is something that they should have, right? It is the largest publicly known emergency supply in the world. It's underground tanks of Louisiana in Texas, capacity of 714 million barrels, right? In the United States, state in the petroleum reserves is 975 mitigate future supply disruptions that are part of international agreement of International Energy Program. Often supplies were interrupted during the 1973 1974 oil embargo, right? Something that happened previously, and some of these governments have taken action and meaning that they have decided to have these reserves, right? Let's take a look at the scale of that. I'm taking this information from what I think it's unbiased sources. So they have decided in taking a look at where let's take a look at the 2023 graph, right, and where those reserves were and how those reserves were depleted. And I'm looking to understand perhaps where those reserves are right now. Are we still using it? Or if there's very cheap energy as of now on the market, where they're purchasing from, right? Oil, naphtha would need to be refined. It could be refined by a number of different governments, right? Once it's been refined, who knows where it came from? So you guys can buy it potentially. So reserve not necessarily as of now has that much oil, not necessarily, right? I don't know where they're gonna get this oil from. I don't know, but we can take a look at some information that I managed to find, right? That would be December 27, 2023. US buys 3 million barrels of oil for strategic reserve, right? And they would say that US have paid 77, just over that, for dollars for a barrel. I think oil, just because of the things happening in the world, I think it's way cheaper than that. I think it's about $30. So perhaps they have waited, US have waited even longer before purchasing a lot of oil. And some of the governments up there in the market, they really need money. And I think I'll try to find a different article. I think how much they paid to replenish that reserve. It's perhaps $30 or so. It's just that again, I don't know all the details and all these contracts. Not necessarily would be that information would be disclosed, right? What is the real data? It's very hard to tell. So I will be taking a look at the number of different articles, and I'll be looking to understand what is the real data and how much money are we talking about. Since it's a lot of money we're talking about, how much are they paying for a barrel, right? And just some of the fact sheets that I managed to find that would be cybersecurity, energy security, and emergency response, right? And that's government's website. And within this government's website, they are showing that they are paying about $29.7 for barrel. This is how much they're paying for one barrel, which is I guess there's some governments out there paying as little as they can to if they I think it's reasonable to replenish their reserves. How and why and all of that, let's leave for others to decide. But this is how things are working as of now, right? These details might change, but some of the facts that I like to highlight that would be reserves were used a lot, right? So reserves was almost depleted, and now why they decided to almost deplete all the reserves, but perhaps because on the market there are so many different opportunities where you can replenish those reserves very cheaply, right? Quick note, right? I don't know about fuel prices. I don't know how much of the market was affected by things happening, recessions, economic crisis, pandemics, war. I don't know about fuel prices. The different parts of the world perhaps experience sharp increase of prices, right? Because if we take a look at supply in the market, there's massive supply of some of these products up there in the market, massive supply to the point where the entire government would decide to replenish all the reserves in order to replace all the reserves with such a massive supply. Since that's what's happening, really. I don't know about prices on how much general public is paying for it. Let's close that.